Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are cracking open the science behind a really popular supplement, collagen peptides. Our goal here is to get past all the marketing noise, understand the actual mechanism, how to use it right for your goals, and importantly, some safety stuff you really need to be aware of.
Yeah, and the foundational piece, the first thing to get is that native collagen, the stuff naturally in tissues, it's this huge, rigid structure. Think of it like trying to absorb a rope bridge hole. It's just, well, it's way too big. So manufacturers use hydrolysis.
Right.
Basically, they break that bridge down into these very specific, tiny, digestible bits, peptides.
Okay, peptides, smaller pieces. So let's unpack that. Are they just like expensive protein powder then? Or is
Yeah.
something else going on? We need to figure out how these little fragments actually do something in your body.
Right, and this is the aha moment, I think. They're not primarily just raw material like bulk protein. They function more like signaling molecules, biomessengers. They get absorbed as specific small chains, diidentipeptides, peptides that contain this key amino acid, hydroxyproline or HIPs. And the fact that those HIP peptides actually survive digestion and get into your bloodstream, that's kind of proof the signal got through intact.
Huh, interesting. So these signals, they're actively stimulating cells, not just sitting there waiting to be used as bricks. Like they actually tell skin cells, the fibroblasts, right, to make more hyaluronic acid, or nudge bone cells, the osteoblasts, to develop.
Exactly, they're sending instructions. And that mechanism explains this really stark difference in dosing we see. Very low doses, maybe around, say, 1.65 grams, have been shown effective for skin benefits. Why? Because that small amount is probably enough to saturate your blood with those signaling peptides.
Wait, hang on. If you only need about 1.65 grams for skin,
Well,
why are most powders recommending like 10 grams or even 20? Is most of it just filler?
Yeah.
Or expensive protein?
well, that's the critical question, isn't it? For more complex stuff, like repairing the gut lining or significantly impacting muscle repair after exercise, you need a much higher dose, up to 20 grams daily. Because for those jobs, you likely need both the signaling effect and a substantial amount of the amino acid building blocks for that broader tissue work.
Okay, that makes sense. So this difference between signaling doses and building block doses, that must mean the source of the collagen starts to matter too, right? Like marine versus bovine.
Precisely. Marine collagen, usually type Y, tends to have the smallest peptides. That means potentially higher bioavailability, and studies often link it specifically to skin metrics like moisture or wrinkle depth. Bovine, on the other hand, usually offers type I and type 3. It's got a broader profile, maybe better suited if your goal is more structural joints, bone density, maybe strengthening the gut barrier.
Got it. So quick summary on dosing then. Low end, maybe 1.65 to 5 grams, primarily for skin signaling.
Right. But if you're looking at muscle synthesis, and that's with resistance training, that's key, or serious gut support, you're probably looking at the higher end, 10 to 20 grams.
Okay. Now we kind of have to shift gears to the less exciting part, the safety side. And this data point really jumped out at me. Heavy metal contamination. Apparently, testing on top-selling brands found, get this, 64% had measurable levels of arsenic and 37% had lead. That's quite concerning.
It is, and the implication is clear, especially for people taking those high doses we just talked about, the 10 or 20 grams a day. If the quality control isn't there, you could be accumulating these metals. It just underscores how vital third-party testing and choosing quality sources, grass-fed, wild-caught really are. It's non-negotiable, really. And there's one other metabolic point, hydroxyproline, that key amino acid. It can get converted into oxalate in the body. So if you are a high-dose user, making sure you drink plenty of fluids is pretty important to help mitigate any potential risk of kidney stone formation.
Good point. Okay, one last crucial piece. The synergy with vitamin C. You keep seeing this mentioned everywhere. Is it really that important?
Oh, absolutely. It's essentially mandatory. Vitamin C is needed to properly stabilize the new collagen molecule, that triple helix structure. Think of it like the cement holding the bricks together. Without it, the whole process is inefficient.
So how much vitamin C are we talking?
Well, for maximizing synthesis, some experts suggest splitting the dose, maybe 500 to 1,000 milligrams, but taken twice a day. The idea is to keep blood levels consistently elevated rather than just one big spike from a single dose. Helps the process along more effectively.
Right, makes sense. So let's tie this all together. The takeaway seems to be if you're considering collagen, success hinges on quality check, that sourcing and testing, and then a targeted dose based on what you actually want to achieve, skin, joints, muscle, and finally, that mandatory synergy, especially making sure you've got enough vitamin C on board.
Exactly. Quality, dose, synergy. And maybe here's a final thought for you to chew on. We talk about timing, like should you take it before bed for glycine's sleep benefits or post-workout for repair? And that can be personalized, sure, but why do researchers consistently point to simple consistency, just taking it regularly, day in, day out, as maybe the single most critical factor for actually seeing those sustained tissue repair benefits over time? Something to think about.